Good morning. We have corn cobs ready. I'm going to pick them. We're going to boil it. It's the most favorite part for me because I love corn, especially sweet corn. And I always try to look for the varieties that are going to provide us with the harvest a lot faster, because there are certain varieties that you can wait for those corn cobs for long. Despite the weather, I think that it looks perfect. And by the weather, I mean that in July we had some sort of a gale and all of the corn was lying on the ground and we were afraid that we wouldn't get any harvest. So what we did, we actually tied the corn to some branches that we put, and that was basically how we saved the corn, because it was still pretty kind of like small, and the gusts of the wind, they were so powerful they couldn't stay firm in the ground, despite the fact that the roots of the corn are super huge. For me, usually the best morning in the countryside is to wake up, to get out, to check the weather. And usually what I do in the first place is I always check for the berries. I love eating berries in the morning. So I have already eaten blueberries, and then I realized that I need to check the corn because I supposed it will be okay and ready. That's actually going to be enough, since that is a tiny bit of the patch with the corn that we planted a lot earlier, which means that the rest of the plants, they still don't have the cobs ready. So that is the first try, which I'm really excited about. I actually can eat them in the fresh form, raw, but I'm not going to do that because of course, like, we can boil them, and that is still, like, in the boiled form is a lot better than the fresh form, but it's still pretty edible when you eat in the fresh form as well. And now I'm picking the Chinese cabbage. I'm going to prepare kimchi, so it's not the whole harvest, we're going to get it also later, but since these cabbage heads are ready, I'm going to pick them. The recipe of kimchi is somehow like divided into what we need to buy, the ingredients that we need to buy, like for example fish sauce, because we can't get it from our garden, but there is a good portion of ingredients that we get from the garden. For example, the queen of kimchi is going to be the Chinese cabbage. So I'm going to pick all of the ingredients in the garden together with you today, starting with the Chinese cabbage. Apart from this, the reason why I'm doing this in the morning, because you need to actually soak the heads in salted water for the entire day. So I'm going to get ready for that, and then closer to the evening I'm going to prepare kimchi. And also keep that in mind that you need to have it for 2 or 3 weeks marinated in a way in order to taste. So it's not the thing that I'm going to taste it tomorrow or anything. It's going to happen approximately in 3 weeks. closer to autumn, we actually follow a traditional recipe, but when we need to improvise, we improvise. So it seems like a pretty nice harvest, as you can see. Then we cut it into half and we put it into salted water for the day. You have to know one thing about me. I love picking harvest more than growing plants. I can pick the harvest during the whole day. So that's why this day is entirely the day where I'm picking harvest. I'm going to get cucumbers because I'm going to preserve them. So I'm picking them regularly so that not to get cucumbers of a really huge size. And you have to remember that that is the cucumber plant, which is grafted and growing from April, and it still gives the harvest. We're actively preserving the cucumbers. As you can see, we always need a lot of preservations for winter, and for us it's a normal thing, you know, but when we are talking with our neighbors, when we're just like sharing everything, they're always surprised by the fact that we need so many jars of cucumbers and tomatoes. But honestly, we eat it pretty actively during winter, and I have already stopped counting, but I think we have already preserved more than 20 jars of cucumbers, and we're actively doing this. And soon we're going to start preserving tomatoes. I remember I was filming a nice video about all of the preservations. I'm going to link it to this video as well so that you can watch, because there I shared a lot more of the helpful tips, because right now I'm just like showing what we're doing. You all ask me about what we're doing with the harvest, and that is the answer. We preserve a lot. We dry different things. We put the vegetables in jars, and I vacuum seal lots of vegetables as well and freeze them, and that is what we are basically doing every single year, just alternating different things. And we know precisely how many jars or how much vegetables we need to preserve, so we plant the necessary amount of plants, and we preserve the amount of jars that we generally eat. So it's like this moderate amounts, and knowing what we need and not having extra or not having less.
This year I found out an incredibly nice variety of the carrots that really loved our climate, and the surprising fact is that this variety is called Canada in here. So everyone is actually boasting of great harvest of this variety when they buy it, and it's really remarkable.
It's time to prepare kimchi. That's already the evening, and I'm going to start preparing everything. So I told you that what we use for kimchi comes from, like, the most of the ingredients, they come from our garden, and I'm going to show and to tell about the ingredients that we pick for it. And some of the ingredients are the ones that we need to buy. So right now, the first ingredient that we take is, of course, the Chinese cabbage. That's the main ingredient, and it has been in the salted water for the whole day. That's why, like, I put it in the morning. Right now, what we're going to do is to prepare this type of the sauce in which the Chinese cabbage is going to get fermented in a way. So these are the ingredients that I picked from the garden. So the first thing that comes are the radishes. I told you that I decided to pick it, so I'm kind of like changing the recipe a bit. That's why it's going to be different, because we do not have daikon at the moment. It is still growing, so we're going to have it closer to autumn. That's why I pick radish, and I'm pretty satisfied with the taste. Then here I have garlic, the cloves of garlic that we harvested before. Then I have carrots. So basically right now I'm going to grate everything to create this type of the mixture. I have carrots here, then I have onion, and I have apples. With the apples, by the way, that is another substitution, because what we need are the pears, but the pears, we still don't have the harvest of the pears, but we have the apples. So we took the apples here, and green onion. So basically everything is going to get into this really nice and juicy mixture. And then I'm going to take all the ingredients, and I'm going to show you how I'm mixing everything together. I'm going to move to the next stage. So as you can see, everything is grated. In here I have carrots and radish. And the next step I'm going to do is to add paprika. I know that there are people who love the spicy side of kimchi, but we unfortunately are not into spicy food that much. So that's why we decided to change the recipe a bit and to add paprika. But apart from that, I have a bit of the spicy, I don't know, it's also some kind of like spicy pepper. So I'm going to basically mix it in order to balance the sweet and the spicy side. So just add into the mixture, and I'm going to basically mix everything together. Then adding the green onion. Then this is the mixture also grated. Here we have onion, we have garlic and apples. Sometimes I think about all of these ingredients and I just believe that all of them, they cannot be mixed together, but at the same time they create this unique taste for which you love kimchi. But if the first time I saw the recipe and the ingredient list, I got a bit puzzled by that because I didn't know like what would be in the end, and for me it was a big risk to prepare my first kimchi. Then another ingredient that I have prepared, that is basically like mixed water and rice flour, so it turned into this really nice liquid, so I'm going to add it. And another important ingredient that adds a lot to the taste is the fish sauce. So I usually buy the fish sauce, a good quality fish sauce. I don't add any type of fish or anything, so I just add the fish sauce for this taste, and adding it to the mixture as well, and mixing everything together into the final ready to go mixture to stuff the heads with. And now comes the messy part, but actually the final part in the preparation. So I find this containers to be really helpful for preparing kimchi, because you can store them, you can store kimchi for long, and it's pretty nice, like it's of good size. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take half of the head and I'm going to stuff it with the thing that I prepared. That's why it's messy, because you need your hands and everything is going to smell nice in a way. So basically the way I stuff it is going to be like under each leaf in a way, so not like covering it with the substance, but making sure that all of these ingredients, they get into every single part of the head. So that's why the taste is so rich in a way, because there are so many ingredients and you are pretty careful with stuffing it, so you make sure that everything is perfect, and then making it nice and firm and putting it into a container so that you have the possibility to put as many of these halves as possible. Then taking another one. Can you believe that this container has 6 heads of the Chinese cabbage? It's insane, but yeah, that's basically how you get this container filled. So you need a lot of ingredients in here. So basically what is going to happen next, so I'm going to put it into the fridge. It will get juicy, of course. At the moment it seems as if there is no liquid at all, but it will just release the liquid. It will give this whole container a really nice juicy moment. And I think that we're going to wait for approximately 3 to 4 weeks in order to have the first taste, but I think that closer to that time we will start preparing another container. So we have other heads of the Chinese cabbage growing at the moment, but that's going to be it for kimchi, which I think is an incredibly easy recipe. The only thing that you need is a lot of ingredients, and that's really nice if you can get most of the ingredients out of your garden, if you have all of them. So I'm going to close the container and is going to store in the fridge till it will start tasting like really nice and solid kimchi.